Afternoon before the Madlanga Commission in Pretoria. During the tail end of his testimony, Khumalo named 5 individuals who were in communication with alleged underworld figure and tender tycoon Vusumuzi Cat Matlala. Khumalo provided WhatsApp exchanges between those people and Matlala as part of his evidence. Oren Singh has more.
One of the key people Vusumuzi Cat Matlala is alleged to have communicated with is Northwest businessman Brown Mokhotsi. Mokhotsi has featured prominently in testimony made before the Madlanga Commission, being labelled as someone meddling in high-profile police investigations. Khumalo claims Mokhotsi is linked to ANC funding.
He appears to have been involved in funding activities for the Minister of Police within the ANC.
Khumalo claims to have proof of more prominent people linked to Matlala through WhatsApp messages, but will only furnish the Commission with such evidence during in-camera proceedings. Oren Singh, Eyewitness News, Pretoria.
At the same time, the Special Investigating Unit has revealed that over 1.2 million rand in corrupt payments was made to Tembisa hospital staff by syndicates for the awarding of tenders. Now, the unit released its interim report into corruption at the facility. It's been revealed that 2 billion rand was siphoned from the hospital in irregular tenders through the use of shell companies. And US President Donald Trump has renewed his threat of imposing steep tariffs on films made outside the United States, claiming his country's industry has been stolen by others. Trump's remarks come shortly after he threatened a slew of new tariffs to be imposed this week on branded pharmaceutical products, furniture, as well as heavy trucks. Today, Trump returned his focus to the film industry, saying in a Truth Social post that other countries have taken business from the United States, just like stealing candy from a baby. He did not provide further details on his plans or a timeline for when these tariffs might be enacted. A cloudy Tuesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg drops to an overnight low of 10 degrees, reaching a high of 20. Pretoria 13 and 22, Vereeniging 12 and 20 degrees. Monkey Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Penalty advantage. Lebok over the top. Ethan Hooker on his home ground gives the pass to Peter Steph du Toit. Full time in Durban. It's South Africa 67, Argentina 30.
What a legend. Midnight Express. Wow. Umkelela Mans. Prarob, thank you so much. You are blessing us, Prarob, with those legends.
I mean, Herman Kelele is one of those special players that, who has done well for the country. I think he deserves whoever he is now, as an assistant coach. Come on, Sporo, Midnight Express. Helman.
Sporo. I didn't know that one. Lucas Katebe, thank you so much, Captain. And Coach Hugo Bruce has told the entire world that after the World Cup, he is going to step down as the coach of Bafana Bafana. Are you ready to be the successor?
I don't think so. Currently, I will just cross that bridge when I reach there.
Why do you think you don't think so?
Coaching at club level on a daily basis, that is where my mind is,
Would you be progressing or regressing? Because national team involvement, under 20, national team involvement, Bafana Bafana.
It will be more growth for me.
By the time Hugo Bruce's tenure is over, Lucas Khatebe will be the president of SAFA, and he'll endorse you to be the coach. I'm just saying that, but let's go for a break.
Falls now to the left foot of Aidan McCarthy. First penalty of his professional career. Oh, he's on it! He's sent them through to the next rounds.
I am imagining the father, Fabian McCarthy, how he's feeling.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
Oh, what a Monday. Hey, just as we were getting excited about the success of the Springboks down at the Hollywood Bets Kings Park Stadium over the weekend, comes the news that Bafana Bafana have been sanctioned by FIFA. All the latest and more coming your way. It is Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets.
Let's go! The moments you remember. The games you can't forget. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. #MSW.
All right, before we get to that burning story of Bafana Bafana, let's remind you that history does beckon tonight. And I'm talking about the South African under-20 men's national team, Amajita. Well, they're going to be stepping onto the world stage in Chile. They're going to be ready to ignite Group E with pride, passion and purpose. The kickoff is at 2200 hours tonight. They're going to be facing the formidable French side, a side that's pretty rich in pedigree. But tonight, it's not about reputation. I mean, it's about resilience. It's about the belief. It's about Amajita rewriting their own legacy. And joining us right now, live from Chile, is the man at the heart of the camp. The voice who's behind the vision, the pulse of the preparation. That's Amajita's media officer, Mahlomola Morake. And he's here to give us a quick brief and inside track as well before he shoots off to the stadium. The tactical insights maybe, hey, some of the dressing room energy, all of that coming through live from Chile. Mahlomola Morake, good evening and welcome to the show.
Baba, good evening. Should I say good afternoon here? Because for me, it's still pretty early. It's just 13 minutes, or rather, it's 7 minutes past 1. So, yeah, it's still afternoon. But, yeah, good evening to you and to the listeners of 94.7.
Thank you so much indeed, Mahlomola. Good afternoon indeed to you. We're looking forward to watching the game at 2200 hours this side. But as I said, I mean, history beckons for these young lads. South Africa in the forefront against a very formidable French team. What's the preparation been like and what can we look forward to tonight?
Robert, first of all, I can tell you that the boys look very determined. This is what South Africa's fourth appearance at this global level. You remember we were there in 1997 and Malaysia in 2009 in Egypt, 2017 in Korea Republic, as well as 2019 in Poland. So the boys really want to write a bit of history and, proceed to the next stage, because the only time we managed to get to the next level was in 1997 with the round of 16. So the boys really want to do it. And if you look at the team that we have, Robert, there's a lot of experience in this team. I mean, 15 of them played in the COSAFA, won the COSAFA under 20, and then they went on to win the AFCON. As we're going into this tournament, we are the African champions. A lot of pressure on the team, but again, it goes with the pressure to say, if you're at this level, anything that comes your way, you have to deal with it. To be the best, you need to be the best. So we're pretty confident. The training has been going very well and no injuries as I'm speaking to you now. In fact, I was just with the boys now. They've just gone down to the gym to do a bit of what they call activation, just to get the muscles to be busy before they jet off to the stadium in the next hour or two to face a very formidable France team, I must say, tonight in the opening match of the FIFA Under-20 World Cup.
Any last minute changes though? Any surprises that we can look out for? Or as you're saying that it's pretty much a solid team, no major changes for the starting lineup?
No, absolutely not, Robert. I wouldn't really want to touch on the lineup because the coaches haven't yet given to us. But what I've seen at training is basically what we've been seeing all along with the Amajita team playing in this competition. Because if you look at the likes of Fletcher, he's been doing very well. The goalkeeper that plays for that plays in Portugal. You look at a defender like a Tylon, who's grown with the Amajita squad, is now at QPR. He played his first Carabao Cup just the other day for QPR, for Queen's Park Rangers. And then you look at players like Asako Tiwani, who was the captain, missed out on the WAFCON, and now he's back here on the AFCON. And now he's back here with the team. Looking forward to this tournament because for him to miss that AFCON really said a lot. He now wants to rectify that and say, guys, I really wanted to be with you, but unfortunately I wasn't. But now I'm here and I'm coming to help you. And then there was a last minute, you remember, last minute drama with Tato Sibia, almost making it, almost not making it, but eventually he's here, ready to deal with the team. The likes of Obrigado, Mfundo Chabalala, ready to tackle the team, Siyabonga Mabena. You can see when they go out to training, they actually fight amongst each other when they miss the goals at training, which clearly shows that they really mean business. They just want to do well in this tournament because it's been a long journey for them, starting in Mozambique last year with the COSAFA, and then Egypt last year with the AFCON, and now Chile with the World Cup.
And just in terms of acclimatization as well, I mean, have they been able to adapt to the conditions in Chile? I mean, the climate, the culture, the crowds?
Yeah, it's been actually, it was a bit terrible in the first 2 days. In fact, I myself was sick and I was out of circulation for a full day. And I was under the doctor's orders to just sit in my room and sleep the whole day. But other than that, in the last 2 days, you can see that everyone is now acclimatized. We all now sleeping regularly as we should, according to the local time and according to the local climate. So the boys have really done what they needed to do. They're ready for the business. The weather is just marvelous. It's day in the spring, about to get into the summer. So it's not too hot, it's not too cold. Early mornings are very chilly. But remember, the hotel that we're staying in is being overlooked by the Andes Mountains, the biggest and longest mountains in Southern America that runs over 7 countries. When you look at the mountains in the morning, you can see it's got snow all over the place. And then by lunchtime, that snow is gone and then it comes back again in the evening. So there is that chilliness of Chile. And then there's the bit of being warm during the day. And as we head into the evening for this match, it's going to be a very lovely weather, which the boys enjoy. They went to the venue yesterday, a very magnificent venue. And they're looking forward to actually displaying their talent on that pitch. I mean, some of them were saying the pitch looks like the ones in Egypt, but it's even better because you can actually sleep on it. They say, this is a carpet. This is where we want to play our football.
Sure. And talking about carpet, I mean, that's a kind of pitch that the big names, Abomfundo Mvilagazi, whether it's Asako Tiwani, Fletcher Smith-Lowe, Luke Batman, Omar Banner, you know, they would all want to show their pedigree. When you look at the group, though, I mean, there's the United States of America there, Mashamula, there's the debutants, New Caledonia. Realistically, where would South Africa finish?
Look, Robert, when you look at South Africa's history in the World Cup, you'll recall that in 2019, we played 3, lost 2, and drew 1. That was against Portugal. So that clearly shows that we were up there. I mean, there, the likes of Thabiso Munyane was playing and he scored against Portugal. And then in 2017, we played 3, lost 2 again, and then drew 1 against Uruguay. In 2009, we played 3, 1-1. The one that we won, that was when Kemet Erasmus scored 2 goals. And then we won 1 against the Honduras with Angele Jali and Sukumalo scoring the 2 goals. So you can see that we really not newcomers when it comes to winning in this tournament. So I'm looking at West, Robert, second best, but there is a strong likelihood that we can finish top of the group. We've got the USA that's been here 18 times, by the way, but they have never won this tournament. In fact, they've their best up here. Their best result in this was in 1989 when they finished 4th. So it clearly shows you that this tournament is not an easy one. So the USA finishing 4th place in 1989, it shows that we also can stand a good chance. Only France has made 8 appearances in total. They made the semis in 2011. They made the quarters in 1999 and 2001. And then, as you said, New Caledonian debutants. So I think we stand a pretty good chance of, if we do well against France tonight, the road is open for us. We can see ourselves finishing quarters, semis at best, but I don't discount us reaching the finals.
All right, Morake, let me allow you to do your duties on that side. Glad that you're healthy, strong, and fighting, and the players equally the same. Thank you so much, and do wish the guys everything of the best. I think this is an electrifying moment. We'll all be in front of our televisions this evening at 10 o'clock to watch them hopefully make history in the FIFA Under-20 World Cup being staged in South America in Chile. Madlanga, thank you so much indeed.
Always a pleasure, Robert. And remember, this is a tournament that launched the likes of Nicolas Anelka, William Gallas, Michael Silvestre, David Trezeguet, Thierry Henry. They all play here. Your Messi, your Maradona. So this is also a chance for our boys to actually show what South Africa has in terms of talent. But thank you very much, Rob, and we'll keep in touch.
All right, a great reminder there of some of the great names as Mahlomola Morake reminds us of people that have made their mark at the World Cup at under-20 level. That's Amajita, media officer, coming through live from Chile. Mahlomola Morake doing an excellent job as always. So good luck to the boys. I hope they do succeed. One of the stronger nations that they get to open the tournament with, which is France. And as I said, we are going to be losing track of the big breaking news story that's come through. Would love your reaction to it as well. South Africa being docked to 3 points for fielding the improperly, you always say improperly registered players in the local sense, but this time around ineligible to play because of yellow cards. So where do we throw the blame? Is it about the blame right now? Because even if you throw the blame, I don't think anything's going to happen to anybody. So when we have a fresh look at ourselves and we say, who then is not doing their work? I mean, how do you allow players to work so hard, play their hearts out, do all that they can because the dream is to get us to the World Cup, and then here comes an admin issue? Was it a technical team issue, or is it a what? Individuals? But everybody is assigned to go out there and do certain things. So if you're the chef and you forget to cook, the players aren't going to eat anything. So if you're a team manager, for example, and this is forming part of your day-to-day duties, then what are we saying? It's a crisis, guys. Yeah, South Africa might still end up going to the World Cup. I think we can do it. That I'm not taking away. But we should also hold people accountable for that. That should not be happening at this level. But my goodness, Durban was rocking over the weekend. If you're down at the Hollywood Beds at Kings Park Stadium, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe you were there. You want to share some of those moments. Watching Argentina play against the Springboks. Watching records being broken for all the right reasons. And of course, one man that stole the show.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongeleni Wamkhwani kaMgaya Mathafen. Firstly, let me congratulate Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs for doing so well in their CAF and Champions League games, respectively. And coming to Springboks, a record-breaking attacking masterclass from Osacha Feinberg Mngomezulu in his 14th test for Springboks. I think, Mr. Marawa, the young man was absolutely phenomenal on the field and winning a man of the match with 37 points. The first Springbok with the highest score in one test. That is a fantastic achievement for the boy, Mr. Marawa. I think he is destined for great things for our Springboks. And you can see coach is trying to introduce some new faces to the team. For us, it's just to give him the support that he deserves. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show as always.
No, but thank you so much indeed. It is Reaction Monday. Talking about Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu. What a player. You know, when you look at him in full force, and we'll touch on this tomorrow with the Room Dividers, an exciting show in prospect indeed. Even the captain, Siya Kolisi, was full of praise for him.
No, I thought he was amazing. Not just in the way he scored tries and all those kind of. I think the way he controlled the game, control and balance, and I think the guys around him, as coach said, they helped him a lot in making decisions. But I think when we click as a team, every single player, within our system is able to show who they are, and that's what the coaches always speak to us about. They pick us for a certain reason. We all have a point of difference, and one of his is running with the ball. But he didn't just run as well, and other players have to be in positions for him to get in the places that he got to. And I thought he kept his head cool, and he put us in the right places. And he was really amazing today. He took charge, he took leadership as we wanted him to. And I thought that was really what stood out for me today. All the guys, we believe in our team in shared leadership. There's not one leader who runs everything. Everybody plays a role. And I saw so many different people who came out of the shells today when the chips were down or when we made a mistake. It wasn't just one voice changing something. And also guys who are experienced were able to listen to guys who have less than a double number of caps. And that's what makes our team special. And that's what he's tried to make sure in this group. From the first day he made me captain and make sure everybody was in charge, so I didn't have to take all the burden and all the pressure. And you're seeing younger guys with one cap who are able to take charge and tell us. We keep quiet and we listen to them. So that was powerful today. And I thought, Sasha was really amazing, and hopefully we can continue next week.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. #MSW.
Checkers Little Shop is back with 46 new minis. Get one free when you swipe and spend 200 Rand on deals like Huggies Gold Jumbo Pack or Extra Care nappies or pants, any two for 200 Rand per pack. And Energade Sports Drink, a 500ml 6-pack, any for 64.99. Plus, stand to win a trip to Legoland Dubai. Simply buy any 3 participating products and swipe your extra savings card to enter. Valid until Sunday at Checkers. T's and C's apply.
Say hello to the iPhone 17, now available from MTN. More delightful, more durable, with a 6.3-inch ProMotion display, ceramic shield, 48-megapixel rear cameras, center stage front camera, A19 chip, and more. The new iPhone 17 is magic chromatic, so get yours for just $879 per month for 36 months on MTN Yellow Plans Prime. Visit an MTN store or mtn.co.za now. T's and C's apply. Today we make moves. MTN.
Good South Africans! They don't just show up, they show up and save 622. They don't just get it done, they get it done and save 622. Good South Africans, switch and save up to 622 Rand per month on your insurance with Budget Insurance. Switch now at budgetinsurance.co.za. Budget is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's and C's online. Savings based on 2025 independent research. The official insurer for good South Africans.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you say breakfast, we say go for the crunch. The Pocomo Crunch that says no to soggy cornflakes. The Pocomo Crunch that is loved by breakfast-eating jawlines countrywide. The Pocomo Crunch that looks at soft cornflakes and says, find another bowl. Yes! Pocomo Cornflakes, now extra crunchy and extra tasty.
It's not magic. It's our master grillers. Enjoy a pork chop grilled to perfection, juicy force, and delicious buffalo wings or chicken strips, all served with Spur-style crispy onion rings and golden chips for only $159.90. Get the Master Griller combo, only at Spur. People with a taste for life. T's and C's apply.
15 minutes ago, she folded her arms and shook her head. She finally gave in. 2 Panados later, she's swaying, letting the rhythm find her. She's laughing, soft at first, then full. The kind I haven't had in a while. Minutes ago, she refused. Now she's dancing, and I swear I've never loved her more. The power to fight pain. Panado, a dose of care.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Helman Mkelele, did you ever have a doubt, or did that Chippers Dynamo's stint give you the drive to say, this is what God has given me, so let me do this?
I was a staunch fan of Kaizer Chiefs, so I always saw myself, wearing those colors, Chippers Dynamos. created the platform to be able to reach my goal.
You played for Chippa's Dynamos, but would you have ever coached Chippa United?
Why not, if given the opportunity?
But how many years did you play for Chippa's Dynamos?
I think I played for months, not for years.
For months?
Yeah, for months.
Probably would have been the same stay would have had at Chippa.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Not your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Rob, good evening. Look, we've always known that this deduction, is coming, the 3 points deduction. It's unfortunate that the person who was supposed to do a job there itself is still there. That person has not suffered any repercussions. But as a country, we've suffered so much, these boys have worked so hard, to get to this level. And then someone fails to do their job, fails to do one job. And then that person has not suffered any repercussions. Right now, we have to rely on calculators and favors, from other teams in order for the team to qualify. Anything can happen. The boys are under pressure now. We're going to play against Zimbabwe. They're not under any pressure. We're going to play against Rwanda. They're not under pressure. This is really disgusting by the SAFA. It's just a reflection of the incompetence of the leadership as a whole in the country. This is
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Gary from Aldos. Mr. Rob, Bafana Bafana is the only thing I want to talk about today because it affects us majorly. And FIFA having docked the 3 points off us officially basically just means one thing, that we are in the wrong unless we prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't know. The question that I have, sir, is how on God's green earth did this happen in our camp? Don't we have, and surely we should have, a team that looks after these details, the nitty-gritties, to make sure people that are supposed to be fielded are fielded and people who are not supposed to be fielded are not fielded. Maybe we could blame the match officials and the admin for not checking that too, but I don't want us to shift the blame. We should go out there ready and correct. And if this is the case, then really we are at fault here and we dropped the ball very, very hard. Now, Robert, it's back to the old thing with Bafana Bafana. We have to pull out calculators and do algebra and wishy, that this one does that. It's so disappointing and frustrating. But thank you, Mr. Rob. Good show. Great show as always, my brother. Cheers.
Gary, thank you so much indeed. You can tell the frustration. I think that's how the nation ordinarily feels. We're going to head off now to, I don't know which part of the world he is either in the UK or in Nigeria, but he was here in studio a couple of weeks ago and he firmly believed that FIFA would sanction South Africa. And I guess as much as we didn't want to hear that coming through from him and we didn't want to admit it coming through from him, but I suppose for now he is correct. There are other sanctions that South Africa can follow in terms of pushing forward and appealing the outcome here. So if you're just joining us, that's been the breaking news today, where FIFA have come out and said South Africa breached Article 19 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, as well as Article 14 of the FIFA World Cup 2026 prelim competition regulations. So consequently, the FIFA Disciplinary Committee has declared the match in question to have been forfeited by the representative team of South Africa by a score of 3-0. So that alone in itself has many consequences. So South Africa Football Association has also been ordered to pay a fine of 10,000 Swiss francs to FIFA, while Tebo Mokoena has been issued with a warning. So the parties were notified, though, of the terms of the FIFA Disciplinary Committee's decision today in accordance with the relevant provisions of the FDC. They have 10 days in which to request a motivated decision, which, if it is requested, would be subsequently be published on the legalfifa.com site. Now, the forfeiture decision remains subject to a potential appeal before the FIFA Appeal Committee. So that's just laying the background. I've got a lawyer, former BBC journalist, journalist at large as well, from the African continent itself, Osaso Biwana. Good evening, sir. Welcome to the show.
Yes, nice to have Mr. Bayuana back on the show, isn't it, Mr. Marawa?
I did say we will come back. Have you been gloating since the outcome?
I warned you for 6 months. Did I not warn you for 6 months?
I didn't
Did I
count the
not warn
months.
South Africa for 6 months? Well, I counted them, so I'm telling you. I told you 6 months ago this was inevitable and it will happen. I can't tell you the number of insults I got from some fans of Bafana Bafana on social media telling me all sorts, but it didn't really bother me because I knew that the result was inevitable. I told you. This happened to Nigeria in 2017. So it was going to happen to you. So
it potentially
the
will go to
really,
yeah.
No, the question really, Robert.
Oof. Breaks away at a very crucial, critical moment where he says the bigger question that's got to be is, I don't know, maybe I might finish his sentence and say who is to blame. I think the last time Ososo was here in studio, he spoke about he doesn't believe and understand how a team manager can still hold his position or her position, but I suppose in this case his position as far as team management is concerned, when such a major, I can't even call it a mistake, has happened. So where does this leave?
No, listen.
Go ahead, Osasu.
Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert. Let's do a diary of blunders on Vincent Seka. Okay. Let's talk of the first one. I'm a Nigerian. I know all these things. First thing, when Hugo Broos was made manager of Bafana Bafana, you do know that he started working as Bafana Bafana manager without having his work permit in South Africa because it wasn't processed on time. You are aware of that, right? That's first one. Second one, you remember when you guys had a match and there was no training field because Vincent Seka didn't get one for the team to train on, and they had to look for an emergency. That's the second one. And then you now have this blunder of all blunders. So I don't know why you guys are so angry, because he has been making serious mistakes before now and nothing was done to call him to order, and now the bazooka of all mistakes has been made and you all are paying heavily for it now.
We could go and appeal, right? So what do you think the chances are?
That's a waste of time. Zilch, -5, -100. You have no chance. Don't even waste your time. Don't waste your time.
So this
Don't
changes,
waste your time.
obviously this changes the scope, this changes the look of what the table looks like right now. So it is 3-0, 3 points, gone, goal difference changed. So a lot of dynamics here, Osasu, do change. Who does it favor now to be in a position?
Benin. It favors Benin. Benin are now on top of the table because they have a superior goal difference to you. Nigeria have 11 points now and they're third. So in theory, even though I don't take it seriously, they are still in with a chance, theoretically, but in practical terms, they have no chance, I think. But I tell you, and I warned you in studio, I told you that if you're not careful, Benin will go to the World Cup. I did tell you, but you kind of poo-pooed what I was telling you that day. But now that the deductions have been made, the reality is now dawned upon you and everyone else that Benin could make it. And I'm telling you, I've been talking to the Benin team and to the they are prepared to go. They are going to do, if they have to go to hell and back to qualify for the World Cup, knowing that they may never qualify for another World Cup in this century, they're going to do it. So I'm telling you guys, if you guys are going to qualify for this World Cup, besides this blunder, you will just have to shed blood to get it, because Benin are not going to hand it to you on the plate. That I can tell you.
But obviously South Africa does have all it takes to win it on the field. They'll deal with this a blunder, as you call it, of unknown proportions. But in terms of what's been happening on the field, they'll look through it and say, fine, this has happened. Maybe in the back of our minds it was there as a possibility, because I don't think they didn't look at it. They were always weighing things up to say, okay, in the event that this happens, we need to be scoring more goals so that we improve our goal difference, etc. I think that's been the message that's come through from Hugo Broos from day one.
Well, I don't know about all that. You're dealing with what the reality on the ground is. And the reality on the ground is that South Africa, those who are responsible for the management of the team off the field, have bungled their jobs. They've made a total mess of their jobs. No one has been held responsible for it, despite the fact that the person who is directly responsible have identified 3 mistakes. In fact, 3 unpardonable mistakes that he has made, Robert. 3. And I'm sure there may be more I don't even know of. So I'm still asking the question again. Why is it that the South African sporting media have not turned their sights on this man before now? Why is it going to take this for you guys to realize that this guy should have been out of a job long before now to avoid this mess?
So if you were Danny Jordan and you the president of SAFA, what do you do?
If he were doing his job the way he's supposed to do his job, he should have fired Vincent Secker months ago, because the facts were incontrovertible since this thing happened against Lesotho. I don't understand why this situation persists. Well, I know why. I'm just speaking in rhetorical terms. I know why. Although a lot of people in South Africa won't say it, but I will. And the truth is, there is a political association between your Bafana Bafana team manager and Danny Jordan that makes it very difficult for him to get rid of him. He knows things about the SAFA president that can put him in even more trouble than he is now. As you and I know, and the whole of South Africa and the world knows, the SAFA president is currently facing a criminal trial for fraud with the CFO of SAFA and a marketing consultant. They're in court. It was interesting that on the day I left South Africa, Danny was actually in court with the 2 co-accused that day. And if you, as the SAFA president, are facing a criminal trial for defrauding your own organization, and you have somebody in your organization who could put out information in the public domain which would further put your reputation into disrepute, would you want him to be in a situation to do that, if such a possibility exists?
I hear that argument. I hear that argument, Osa. So all I'm saying is that cannot then be allowed to happen, because SAFA is not a private entity.
But it's for you, South Africa. I agree, but it is for you, South Africans and the media. I'm challenging you, Robert.
All right. I think our line is afraid of you when you raise your voice, Osasu. But we'll try to get you back. If you are still hearing me, great. We'll also get Nick Said as well to give us his opinion and thoughts. We've got lots of voice notes that are coming through in line with the conversation that we are currently having with Osasu, as well as he gives us feedback on this. I'll just put him on the line. Nick Said, I believe, is on the line as we speak right now. Another trusted journal through many years of association with him here in SA. Nick, good evening. Welcome to the show. I'm going to ask you to dive straight into it just because of time. The news came through. It is official. What was your immediate reaction?
Well, hi, Robert, and hi to your listeners. Obviously, one of great disappointment, but at the end of the day, a blunder was made and we have been punished for it. I don't think we can have any defense, to be honest. We can talk about teams not protesting, etc. But at the end of the day, Tebogo was not eligible to play in that fixture, and he did. And that's on SAFA and the people within team management to allow that to happen. So my hope now from here on in is that we actually focus on just getting the points that we need in the next 2 matches. I know we can potentially appeal, but honestly, I think that's a dead end. I don't see us having this sanction reversed. Personally, I feel 4 points will probably be enough. If I can talk about the football for a second,
yeah,
the
sure.
nicer part of it. I think, honestly, if I look at Benin's last two games, they're away at Rwanda, away in Nigeria, two very, very difficult fixtures. Rwanda obviously are still very much in it as well. We essentially have two home games, if we talk about the Zimbabwe game being in Durban, plus the Rwanda. So I honestly believe that Nigeria will win their next two games, take them to 17 points. I think Benin obviously will get maximum 3 out of that, so also 7. I think the maximum they can get is 17 points. And that'll leave us needing to get 4, a draw and a win. I think very achievable. I think Hugo Bruce's team has shown over the last 12 to 18 months just what a good side they are. And I think, so my personal opinion is I think we still, I'm on the optimist side, I think we'll qualify. But what I do hope is that there's some serious introspection at Safa House. This cannot happen. We cannot compromise. Trying to drive excellence of football and allow the amateur, to be honest, blunder to occur. So there needs to be some consequences to that. What those consequences are is not really for me to say, but I really do hope that that there's some serious internal reviews and discussions that take place, and that we do see action, and we ensure that something like this, which is also deeply embarrassing for us on the world stage, of course. This will be in the newspapers around the world, Sydney Morning Herald, the New York Times, tomorrow, and it's just not a good look for our football, for our administrators.
Yeah, I guess what Osasu was saying on the other line, Nick, is that the team manager should have long ago been fired because there are previous cases of something similar or even worse that's happened, and he obviously chronicled a number of them to give further proof, to say that South Africa have been dragging their feet, or the South African Football Association have been dragging their feet on the team manager and the blunders that he has made. And here we are, like you rightfully say, being exposed to the world, but negatively so. I'll take your comment on that, Nick, when I come back from the break. I'll also take lots of your WhatsApp voice notes.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Wayne, for you, what is the real deal?
For me, it's really customer service. It's getting my money's worth. So if I phone Outsurance and I've got a problem, they're always there.
So it's not just, we've got your money, now off you go.
No, money is not the biggest deal for me. It's service. Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream, to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
This Mazda doesn't just start. It wakes up. Anticipation. The wheel settles into your hands. Seat and mirrors adjust. You didn't ask. It just knew. Then the 3.3-liter turbo diesel clears its throat. And suddenly, you're flying, weaving through sunlight. Goosebumps on your commute. The feeling will find you in the Mazda CX-60. Wonder awaits.
Hey, chap.
Yeah?
Have you tried that Boza 1 meal at the Fish and Chip Company?
Tried? A large Russian, chips, and a 300ml body for just 39.90. Yo, my stomach still sends me thank you cards.
No wonder it's called Boza 1. It tackles hunger like a boss. And you could score one of 10 Samsung A16 smartphones.
I fed my stomach and I could win a new phone.
Yeah, bruh. It's like dating someone who can cook and set up your Wi-Fi.
The Fish and Chip Company.
Fresh, hot, and a lot.
In the world of business, every second counts. Postnet isn't just a service, it's an extension of our business. They handle our shipments, bulk printing, and so much more. It's like having an extra division without the overheads.
That's because Postnet is a community partner, rooting for your success. Postnet, empowering businesses one account at a time, getting you across the line.
Looking for the perfect place to book your next local holiday? Lekker Slob has you covered with over 30,000 stays across South Africa. From luxury hotels, resorts and lodges to cozy self-catering homes, B&Bs and guest houses, Lekker has something for every taste and budget. Whether it's a quick getaway or an extended holiday, visit Lekker today and easily book your dream getaway on South Africa's leading accommodation app.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Helman Midnight Express Makelele. Yeah, lengwenya samvundula le eNewcastle bathi kwaJagalas. Waphuma la siyaphuma la phakathi kweSugar Cane. Ya umjobana athi hello yellow. Lo samthatha. And my biggest dream and wish, I want to see you we head coach here Bafana Bafana.
No, you don't. Please don't trust Eddie. Please. Me knowing that I'm not representing myself, I'm also representing the legends. You know, who are also knowledgeable.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Your ordinary Monday. It's Reaction Monday. Hashtag MSW.
Robert, good show as always. I think, Bafana Bafana. I want to talk about Bafana Bafana. I think, for me, good decision by the FIFA. I think, the person who's in charge of all this thing, administration, he should be fired. The guys doesn't read the rules. So, my suggestion is that he must be fired. Simple as that. No need for Safa to go and appeal.
Reaction Monday. FIFA is taking us for granted. Lesotho didn't appeal for the case. So why they did that point? I remember the other year, FIFA allowed us to play a replay match against Senegal. So FIFA taking us for granted. They don't respect us. They don't respect SAFA. And SAFA must appeal this case. They must appeal this case. FIFA takes for granted. Lesotho didn't make a case. So now, just because Nigeria complained, now we have to lose the points. Aye, man.
Good evening, Rob and the MSW shareholders. My reaction Monday. Rob, my reaction Monday would be 3 points deduction by FIFA. Rob, I think someone at the national team must take responsibility of what happened. We can't just keep quiet, Rob, when the points are being deducted. It means somebody didn't do his job. So, Rob, I mean, sometimes we have to be professional enough, Rob, to tell the truth. I think it's time now we spill the beans. Who is behind this? Who didn't do his job? Simple as that, Rob. We want to know as the nation. Thank you, Rob. Tebeta return all the way from Amalia in the Northwest.
Evening, Mr. Marawa. It's Teboho here from Four Ways. This is not the first time people who are supposed to be reading the rules of the game messes it up. We once danced in Bombela thinking we're going to the World Cup. We didn't go. Again, the same person or a different person in the same position, they are going to continue as normal. That is what SAFA does to us. And it's a shame because they think they are the custodians of football and they are not. They just are steering a ship, and it's unfortunate that we can't do it ourselves. They are in that position for us.
As I said, plenty of reaction today. Reaction Monday it is. And what a bombshell that came our way this afternoon when the news started to filter through that FIFA had certainly slapped South Africa with that sanction. And we're getting reaction right now from Osaso Biawana, who is joining us, as well as Nick said. Nick is a journalist with Reuters Sport, ESPN, Supersport TV, Forbes Africa, Daily Maverick. He's been there with the TFG Sports Club, and also is a COSAFA media journalist. So he has every insight from different angles to give us the opinion. And maybe before I go back to Osasu, Nick, let me come straight to you. You hear from a lot of the callers, the voice notes, they're saying that sanction needs to be taken, somebody needs to lose their job, and that thing hasn't happened up until now. Do you think it's still going to happen now that this massive national blunder has happened?
I think it's going to be very difficult for the leadership of SAFA to keep that person in that position. Whether he moves to a different position, I don't know. But I think this, I understand there's been blunders in the past, but this is a big one, and I think it'll be more heat for the leadership person in that position than to just quietly move them to the side. I think they have to. You cannot. There needs to be consequences for actions, or in this case, non-actions. Unfortunately, I think that that person need to be moved aside. Yes.
Yeah, one of the, I'll call it allegations that Osasu put forward to us. Maybe you were still on hold and you heard him say that Vincent Teka has a lot of information, a lot of intel on Danny Jordan, and that is why maybe Danny finds it very difficult to get him or get rid of him or to fire him from his position within the team management. To say that, my counter to that, Nick, was that SAFA is a national association. You can't be taking personal issues and using people to either shield you or those who have the information to not go forward or be called up as witnesses or whatever the case might be. That cannot be the case. South Africa demands from the leadership of any national association the best management ever.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't really know about those other issues you spoke about, but you look at the reaction of people on social media and whatnot. They're not just calling for the team manager's head; they're calling for Dr. Jordan's head as well. And that's why I say I think there's going to be a lot of heat on him now and the senior leadership within SAFA to take action. And I think if they don't do that, I think that they're inviting even more scrutiny upon themselves. Bringing other issues to the table. So, yeah, unfortunately, you never like to speak to someone out of a job. Jobs are precious in South Africa, but at the end of the day, the right people need to be in the right positions to make sure that we're moving our football forward and not having such really, unacceptable situations.
All right, so Sasu, I don't know if you're still there. Nick is still on the line. Just your reaction to all that you've heard. Yeah,
I'm still here.
Go ahead about where this puts Nigerian football now. What's the word that's going around within the FA with the hope that World Cup qualification is still there?
Robert, I've already told you. Nigeria are not qualifying for this World Cup. Yes, there is a mathematical chance that we could, but the practical realities are that we can't.
All right, so we keep dipping in and out there with Osasu. We keep losing him. Nick, I mean, you were giving us a football breakdown and you're saying that for South Africa, as difficult as this docking of 3 points, 3 goals, etc., puts us a little bit on the back foot, but it doesn't mean it's all over. We can still fight and get to the World Cup.
Absolutely. I expect Nigeria to beat Lesotho, and I expect them to beat Benin. That game's in Nigeria. So I expect Nigeria to finish on 17 points. That's 3 more than us than we have at the moment. Then really we just need 4 points from those last 2 games. We don't actually, in that scenario, we don't have to win them both. I cannot really see a scenario where Benin win both their games. Away in Rwanda, that is going to be tough. And away in Nigeria is also tough. I mean, Nigeria virtually never lose at home, especially in World Cup qualifiers. Can't say it's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. So I still, as I said to you earlier, I'm still on the optimistic side. I still feel like South Africa's got an excellent chance of qualifying. We'll learn the lessons from this and move on and be enjoying a World Cup next year.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. I know that we called you in the midst of many meetings that you were having, but as a voice of reason, and also just to maybe calm South Africans to say that, from a footballing front, the chance is still there. We continue the way we've been playing, make the selections that we've been making, I know other people are starting to blame Tebo Mokoena himself and say that if he knew that he had the yellow cards, etc., and accumulated them, then he should have put up his hand. But I think everything has processes that have to be followed, and blaming a player is certainly not one of them right now.
No, absolutely not. I don't think you can put any blame at the hand of Tebogo. Also, the yellow cards were so far apart. It's players just don't remember these type of things. He's played so many games in between, picked up yellow cards and for sundowns, etc. I don't think you can do that. The one thing, Robert, I do find strange about this whole situation, which I will tell you, is why it took FIFA 6 months, almost 7 months, to come to this point. Because it actually disadvantages all of the teams, not just South Africa, but it disadvantaged Benin and Nigeria and whatnot. Because, if this had been dealt with within a month or two, maximum 3, of the incident happening, then everyone would have known where they stood before the September internationals. And that maybe changes a little bit how you play and maybe the players that you select and how you set up your team, especially I think about that Bafana game in Bloemfontein against Nigeria. So why, it just boggles my mind that it took FIFA almost 7 months to come to this point. It just, I do not understand it. And I think that's maybe something where we owed a little bit of an explanation on the FIFA side. Is, why could this not have been dealt with at the time? It is a fairly open and shut case. They sent that letter, I think, to SAFA on the 15th of September, and they dealt with the matter within 2 weeks. So I just don't get why it's come to this point. And I know the Benin coach, Gunnar Rowe, was complaining about it before the September internationals about, are South Africa going to be docked, aren't they? What's happening? FIFA needs to deal with, because from his point of view as well, he wants to know what he needs to do to qualify. So that whole aspect I do find very, very odd.
Nick, as I said, thank you so much indeed. I've just received a message here saying that the Minister of Sport and Recreation, Minister Gauteng McKenzie, has sent out a media statement. I'll get to that in a second. But Nick, as always, man, thank you so much for the input.
Thank you. Thank you, Robert.
All right, Nick there joining us from Cape Town. Osasu, if you're still there, the issue of the delay from
I
FIFA.
am, Robert. I've always been here.
Yeah,
I've always been here.
Not a problem. Not a problem,
The problem,
sir. The problem is a technical one.
the problem was just,
Yeah,
it was, yes. So, yes, what's the question you want to ask me,
the
Robert?
question was about FIFA. You talked about it even when you were here, saying that there is and was a long delay, and I think Nick has touched on it now. Were you able to, when you touched base with your intel people within FIFA, to understand why it's dragged for 6 or 7 months?
They couldn't give me a reason, and I think internally some people are quite embarrassed with this. They know that they dropped the ball on this. This decision should have been taken months ago. I don't want to put people in trouble by quoting anybody. I spoke to somebody really high up in FIFA, and I said, why didn't you take this decision long ago? And he said, yes, we know, but the decision has been taken, and that's the most important thing. But I'm sure you and I would agree that the delay in this matter has been unacceptable. Even Raymond Hack, who was the chairman of the CAF disciplinary committee and knows the rules of these things on his fingertips, also commented on this thing when we were together on another program a couple of weeks ago. It's embarrassing for FIFA, and they shouldn't allow this kind of blunder to happen again. But ultimately, the responsibility is SAFA's, and I think the South African people have a right to demand that those in SAF, and I have mentioned their names, it seems you guys are a bit reluctant to call them, but I call them, Dr. Jordan and Vincent Secker should be asked to account for what they have done. And they should be made to pay the price for putting South Africa in an unacceptable position. I think that is only correct. Don't you?
I've got a message that I'm going to read from the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture here, Osasu. I'm going to try just read here and there because we've run out of time. It says, as Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, I've taken note of the recent decision by FIFA to deduct 3 points from Bafana Bafana. to an amount as well of 215,000 rand. It says this development is deeply regrettable and has brought embarrassment to our nation and the game of football. We acknowledge that this situation has brought South Africa into disrepute, and it says we must take full responsibility for addressing it. And we thank FIFA for swift action and not making us wonder and wait in agony about our fate. And I think he says we should rally behind the national team. The Department of Sports, Arts and Culture will lead a thorough investigation into the incompetence that led to the sanction. And he says that we are committed to uncovering the root causes of this failure and ensuring accountability. A comprehensive report will be compiled and shared with the public to provide clarity on this matter and prevent future occurrences. For now, we urge all South Africans to unite in support of Bafana Bafana. Let us get behind our boys, etc., about the World Cup. So that's the statement that's come through. Nothing from SAFA, because as we were coming onto the show, we did ask them for comment. So I've got to put this on record. And they said that they will be releasing a statement shortly. We finished the show now, so that shortly has not applied. So I'm not sure how shortly really is. This has been Marawa Sports Worldwide, proudly brought to you by Hollywood Bets. Thanks to Asasu and to Nick.
The thrill, the drama, the action. Let the game begin. Marawa Sports Worldwide on 947, Vuma FM and Rise FM. Powered by Hollywood Bets. #MSW. Live now on 947, Vuma FM.